Hello everyone, this is Sri Jish. Welcome to Connect Nilugati. So today, let's see how auto scaling works in AWS. So what is auto scaling? So the auto scaling is, suppose you are hosting a website, and every weekend, so like you have a lot of customer accessing your sites, and due to the resource constrictions, the limitations and all, right? So you are, what is happening is like you cannot provide fully completed support to the end users, right? So suppose they are facing some issues in accessing the site, so the site is down, you need to scale up it, right? So adding additional resource means the auto scaling. That's a part of auto scaling. So make it high available so that end user don't have any other issues while accessing your site. So how do you do that actually? So in order to do that, you have to follow some kind of steps here. So let's figure out what is auto scaling right now. So I'm in the dashboard now. So uh, we have three options to create auto scaling. Okay, before we do we'll start with auto scaling group creation. That auto scaling group, which is in the bottom of this page, you need to have a template created in the EC2 dash. Okay, that means how or what, based on what the EC2 or the newly prepared EC2 can start up, like, because we if we don't specify anything what to start, what type of EC2 we need to start, it will not be useful, right? Whenever we are doing any auto scaling for high availability, we need to specify, like if you're accessing Amazon should allocate additional resource, right? So Amazon web server configuration template should be available as part of auto scaling group. So in that way, similarly, we have to some similar changes in the AWS or scaling as well, right? So let me show you. The first one is like we have to create an AMI based out of suppose you are having an EC2 instance running, and you have an option to create image. Okay, create image based on the EC2 you have. That is first option. In that image you can specify, that image will have the template, like what type of software is installed and what type of instance we need to boot, right? That is first option. Then second option is launch template. So this is another option. So let me show you what does that mean. Launch template means we're giving a template name here, like I'm giving as Ubuntu image, and template version as my auto scaling launch template, and I'm just leaving all these in like a launch template name. I'm just giving it as a, I don't have to specify anything, but what is important is like I need to specify a kind of image here, right? So I have a kind of image called Ubuntu SSD. If I am selecting that one, I have to um, specify what is the um, instance type you need to, right? So instance type, I'm making it as T2 micro, which is again a free trial eligible. Okay, so why it is not popping up? T2.micro. I'm clicking as T2 micro. That means it's eligible for free trial, right? So that way you can specify the instance type. Like here, I think it is not coming as part of this image which I selected. Let me go to the other image and let's see what all the options here have. We have T2 micro. Let's figure it out. T2 dot micro. Yeah, we have it. So based on the template or the image we are selecting, we can get the type of instance type as well, right? So you have an option to choose the key pair. Like suppose I'm in the right now in the Mumbai region, so I must have some key pair in the Mumbai, so I'm making it as the existing key pair name, virtual private cloud. I'm just leaving it as it is security group. I have something called DMZ Mumbai, which is basically SSH and port 80 for HTTP. That's a security group which I defined here. I have selected that. And volume. So what is volume? It's doing basically whenever you are creating an image, you are allocating some volume, some EBS volume here, right? So that's the size of the EBS volume you're specifying here. Get resource tag, you can leave it. Add network interface, advanced setting you need to go, then monitor detailed cloud watch monitoring you need to enable. Okay, this is what you need to do, and click on, yeah, you can add user data as well here. This is one of the important things, right? So whenever you want to have a kind of default software to be installed in your EC2 which is getting spinned up, you can add a user data, which means you can install software, you can do whatever you want. Then based on that, the template will be ready with those kind of settings. Okay, so click on launch. It is actually getting loaded. So this is the second way I was talking. So launch template has been created. The third way, before before we start creating auto scaling group, we need to have something called launch configuration. This is the third method. Either you can go with AMI, or else we can go with launch template, or you can go with launch configuration. Click on launch configuration. I'm just showing that I'm not going to create it because we have already created a launch template. I'm just giving it as name, username. If I have an EMI, I will that can be listed here, so that you can choose it from the choose it under the my AMI list. So these are AWS marketplace AMI. So if you do if you want to use it, you have to accept the license agreement. So for now we cannot use it because it will charge you. It will take you out of free tier, right? So that way the similar setup will be like here also. Like you need to provide a key pair, security group, and whatever the other settings which we did for the launch configuration, you have to do here also. So I'm not going to do that. Let's continue with the launch template, right? Okay, so I'm going to use auto scaling group now. Create auto scaling, my ASG, that my auto scaling group. Launch template, I have a Ubuntu image which I have created earlier that I can select from here. And combine purchased option and instance type. I'm just following with the default option. If you are selecting this one, you can have additional features to buy, pay, and buy EC2 additional instance. You don't want to do that, so just select all the subnets. Because if you want to spin up EC2 in some other subnet, so you can you have to select all these things. So select all the subnets and move to the other page. So right now what I have done is like I have created auto scaling groups based out of launch template. So I have launch template created from the Ubuntu image, and while creating auto scaling groups, I have provided the launch template name, and then I have created auto scaling group. So if you click on that, so what I have done is like if the CPU percentage goes above 90 90%, right? So it should uh, basically create one instance. So let me go to the EC2 dashboard. I was having initially one instance. What I've done is like in the command prompt of the terminal, I went to um, the basic terminal, the first terminal, which my first EC2 instance which I created, and I added one command line to increase the CPU utilization to make it as 90%, I simply put this command. Okay, so that will make the CPU put utilization as above 90. So once that was become like 90, so it has got one more EC2 instance launched in the dashboard, so that we can verify here also. Order scaling groups, and click on your auto scaling activity. If you see, this was the first one which we created while performing or while creating the auto scaling group. It will default, like since we made it as the site capacity as 1, and the minimum and maximum I made it as 2, right? So by default it should be having 1 while creating the security group. So when the EC2 with the CPU percentage has been increased to 90 percentage, it has got one more EC2 around this time frame. So increasing the capacity from 1 to 2. So desired and current instance has become 2. So it cannot go more than 2 because we have set the limit as maximum. So once you click on this is easy, this is 2 again, it is not going to create anything. Anyhow, the CPU percentage is already 90 percentage or 95. It will not go and create one more instance because we have the max limit as 2. So that's how we create a like auto scaling based off uh, launch template or launch configuration. You can also create using the AMI which you created in your AWS. So it's a simple demo. So I hope it's very easy to digest. Thanks for watching.